Once upon a time, Catarina and Philip went on holiday in Cyprus. They went to live in a nice apartment by the beach. There was a lovely long beach with white sand and not many people, and beautiful blue sea with little rock pools and rocks you could climb over. Well, Catarina liked to go on the rocks and look in the rock pools. She also liked to sit in the armchair in the sun and the deck chair, the sand deck chair where you sit and look at the sky.
It's very high.
Not very high, and relax with a nice glass of something cold to drink. Anyway, while she was there, she decided to go and have a look in the rock pools. So Catarina took her camera and started looking to see what she could see in the rock pools. Can you guess what she saw in one of the rock pools?
A jellyfish.
How do you know? That's exactly what she saw. So she thought, I must take a photograph of that jellyfish and send it to Aidan. So she leaned over the rock pool to take a picture of the jellyfish, when suddenly she slipped and splash, she fell in the water. Oh no, she thought, I mustn't let that jellyfish get near me or it might sting me. So she climbed out of the water very quickly, and Philip came to help her get out, and luckily she didn't get stung by the jellyfish. Well, she said, that'll be very interesting to show poor little Aidan. And then Catarina and Philip got on a speedboat. Can I drive? Said Philip. Sure you can, said Catarina. So Philip started to drive the speedboat. He could go very, very fast. He put his foot on the floor and steered the boat as fast as he could. You're going too fast, said Catarina. No, I'm not, said Philip. Yes, you are. And just then, Philip hit a wave and the boat jumped up in the air and everybody nearly fell out and the boat landed on the water with a big splash. Splash it went. I think I'd better drive the boat a bit slower, said Philip. So he drove the boat slowly and they came back into the port. And when they got to the port, Catarina said, let's build a sandcastle. I wish Aidan was here, he could help us. Yes, said Philip. Aidan would be very good at building sandcastles. And Aidan would even build a moat around it. So they started to build the sandcastle. And what do you think they did to get water? How do you think they got water?
Did they get the bucket?
Exactly, they got a bucket. And where did they get the water from?
They spit, they wigged, and to see what you can find, and also a what's that? What is you put some sand in it and you turn it.
A mould. You make a mould.
Oh, yes, a mould.
Yes. So Catarina had a starfish mould.
Yes.
So she put some sand in it, added some water, patted it down, and then turned it upside down and went pat, pat, pat.
They have like eyes.
Do what? Do starfish have eyes?
No.
What was your question?
Well, your stuff has some eyes.
Does who have eyes?
Starfish.
Starfish? I don't think they have eyes.
But
I don't think so.
do they have some arms?
5 arms. Yes, they have 5 arms.
But do they have some legs?
No, unless you want to call the arms legs. Maybe they've got 5 legs and no arms. Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
And do you want to know something special about a starfish?
Yeah.
If one of its legs or arms breaks off, another one grows. That's something to know about starfish. Anyway, just as Catarina made a mould of a starfish and put it on top of the castle, who should she see swimming in the water but, have a guess?
I don't know.
A real starfish. So she dug the moat a little bit deeper and put the starfish in the moat to scare off anybody who wanted to come in the moat. But just then a big wave came in from the sea, splash, and it knocked over the sandcastle. Oh no, she said. Our sandcastle's fallen down before I could take a photo for Aidan. And just then she thought, maybe Aidan could come here. So she took her telephone and she rang. Who did she ring?
Aidan.
She rang Aidan. She said, "Hello, Aidan. How are you?" And Aidan said,
I'm not well.
Aidan said, "I'm not well." He's actually coughing a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, but can you tell a story?
So Catarina said, "Come to Cyprus. You'll feel a lot better." So, how did Aidan get to Cyprus?
By train.
By train.
Is it long?
It's a long journey.
Is it way long way?
Well, you've got.
It's where Peppa Pig goes on big journey.
Exactly like Peppa Pig.
And George and Mummy Pig.
Exactly. So first you have to take the train to the airport, then you get on the aeroplane and fly to Cyprus. So Aidan went all by himself. And do you know who was waiting for Aidan at the airport when he got to Cyprus airport?
Catarina.
Yes. She was waiting for you. And where do you think she took you first?
I don't know.
To the seaside.
Seaside?
Exactly.
But how about do Catarina have a paddling pool?
She's got a little swimming pool by the beach as well, yes.
But does he have a paddling pool?
A paddling pool, yes. So, Philip
has a paddling pool?
Yes. Do you want to go in it?
Yes.
And what do you want to do when you're in it?
I'll splash and have fun.
So that's exactly what Aidan did. First thing he did, he jumped in the paddling pool, which was nice and warm, and splashed and had fun. And then, guess who came in the paddling pool with you?
Catarina.
Exactly. What do you think she did?
I don't know.
She put her legs on for you to slide down them. And then Aidan and Catarina went for a walk on the beach. And they both looked for shells.
Who found shell first?
Aidan. Aidan found a shell first.
And then Catarina have found shell?
Well, she found a nice round shell and Aidan found a nice long shell.
What?
I don't know what sort of shells they were because I don't know the names of shells very well.
Me too. I own the cockles.
Cockle shell, you know more than me. Well, that's pretty good.
I only know cockles.
Yeah.
Shells.
Well, that's not bad. In fact, it probably was a cockle shell that you found. What about a crab? You could find a crab shell.
A Catarina.
Or a mussel shell.
A Catarina.
Catarina found a mussel shell, which is,
Shell.
yeah, mussels are black. The shells are very black.
How about Mummy's sister? Have lots of shells. Have lots of more shells. There are way lots of them. Have a bag full of shells.
Who's got a bag full of shells?
你说姨妈？
Yes, Ima.
哦，姨妈。
They have lots of shells.
Has she? Has your mother got a lot of shells? Or is he talking about your sister? Helen, is he talking about your sister?
Aidan said my sister.
Has she got a lot of shells?
No, it's my friend, Gail.
Oh, Gail has got a lot of
Yeah,
shells.
but you know his names. There are lots of names. There's lots and lots of shells.
With different names? Did she tell you the names of the shells?
No.
Next time you're there, you better ask.
She got 2 big basket of shells, because whenever she go to travel to some cities, she collects the shells, and
Oh, I
then
see.
she collected it, and she has 2 big basket of shells, and Aidan was so pleased to play it.
But you can't let me play with it.
Gail 阿姨，她给你玩了。
Now, did you know if you find a very large shell and put it against your ear, you can hear the sea? And you might even hear what people are saying on the beach if you listen carefully. So, as they were walking on the beach, Aidan found a giant conch shell.
Conch shell?
A conch shell, they're very large shells. And
But I have that shell.
when I used to live in the Cayman Islands, there were conch shells everywhere. So many you didn't bother to pick them up. like the coconuts. They're lying in the streets everywhere. Well, the conch shells were lying in the water by the thousands. Anyway, Aidan found a giant conch shell and put it to his ear, and guess what he heard?
I don't know.
He heard some whispering.
What, what?
And the sea.
What, what?
Then it was time to go and build a sandcastle. Let's build a sandcastle, said Aidan. So everybody sat down on the sand and started to dig. And Aidan got the bucket and filled it with sand and a bit of water, patted it down, turned it upside down, gave it a good tap, and out came the first tower. Then he did the same thing again, had another tower. Pretty soon they had a big sandcastle with lots of towers, and then the next idea was to build a moat round it, so they dug a hole all the way around the sandcastle, and as the water from the sea came in, it filled with water. Quick, said Aidan, take a photograph of me next to my castle before the sea washes it away. So Catarina got her camera and took a photograph of Aidan sitting next to the sandcastle and sent it back to Mummy and Daddy.
Did Mummy Daddy see the picture?
Yes. It was really nice. And then Catarina said to Aidan, come and see my jellyfish. So Catarina and Aidan walked over to the rock pool, which had some water in it, and the jellyfish at the bottom swimming around. Don't touch it, said Catarina, it will sting you. Don't worry, said Aidan, I won't touch it.
Don't tell Aidan, but don't tell Aidan to touch the jellyfish.
Do you want to say Aidan fell in the water now?
No.
No, he didn't.
No, never.
No, we won't fall in the water.
Never.
You'll be very careful, won't you?
Never.
Exactly. You'll have to be careful. So Aidan sat on the edge of the rock pool and looked at the jellyfish. Can I fish it out of the water, said Aidan. So Catarina said, but you haven't got a fishing net.
Oh, but I don't let it do on the sand.
You want to put it on the sand?
No, it would sting me.
It would sting you. Better put it in the sea.
Yes.
So luckily Philip had a fishing net. So he gave it to Aidan.
No.
But Aidan didn't want to do it. So Philip fished it out of the water, out of the rock pool, and carried it to the sea and dropped it in the sea. And the jellyfish was very happy, and it sort of waved one of its arms as it swam away. It was happy to get in the sea.
But one of his arms were gone?
No, it didn't have any missing arms. It just waved it, kind of in the water, or maybe it wasn't waving at all. Maybe it was just fluttering in the water.
Are you finished?
And that's the end of the story. Oh no, we forgot one thing, and now it's time to go home. So Aidan and Catarina drove back to the airport, and Aidan got on the aeroplane, flew back to Geneva.
Did Aidan like the aeroplane?
You bet he did. He even sat by the window and looked out of the window, and the stewardess gave him some nice drinks and food. And then when he got to Geneva, he got on the train and came back to Coppet Station. And when he got back to Coppet Station, he came back to the house, and Mummy and Daddy were very pleased to see him and put him to bed. And gave him, of course, a nice story. And do you know what the story was called? Have a guess.
No.
Have a guess what the story is called.
Cricket and a jellyfish.
Exactly. And now it's time to go to sleep. The end.